Welcome to the Secrets of College Planning. I'm your host, Anthony Uva, and today we are going to talk about some insight on how colleges do admissions at the level of Division III or even Division I. Our guest today is Calvin Conyers, Associate Director of Mount Ida College in Newton, Massachusetts. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. So usually I start out the show with where does everyone go to college? So where did you go to school?
I actually attended Mount Ida College. I got recruited for football and basketball, and I was looking for a small school, being that I graduated from a small high school. I went up there for a visit and fell in love with the campus, and
Really?
history since.
Wow. And what's the campus like?
Small campus, about 72 acres, real family-oriented campus. I think that's one of the things that really sells our campus compared to a lot of other institutions.
Oh, interesting. So tell me, what happened after college?
So it's interesting. I had no intentions of actually going into higher ed. I went and I studied business administration. I got an internship my senior year, which wound up being my first full-time job. I was doing sales and advertising for Verizon. The day of graduation, I had two of the vice presidents offer me a position in admissions. I was like, oh, I don't know anything about admissions, but then I went on and I went into the business world, and I decided to come back into higher ed and just give it a shot. History since.
Really? So how long have you been there?
This is actually my ninth year working in the school.
So you've been in admissions for 9 years?
Been in admissions for 9 years.
Wow. So then how is the process of admissions? What does a high school student go through to get to college?
Well, every school is different. The most important thing is really the grades. A lot of schools, we look at the strength of the students' curriculum. So are the students taking college prep courses, honors courses, AP courses, things like that, SATs, ACTs. These are all factors that most colleges look into.
Okay.
And then we look into a lot of the extracurricular activities, so things that build up students' character. Extracurricular activities, community service, clubs, organizations, things outside of their academics that can show some of their character.
Okay. And so what does a student do to get to a school like Mount Ida College?
It starts off just applying yourself in high school.
Okay.
We want to get we're rolling admission, which basically means that we accept applications up until the day of classes, that we start classes.
Wow.
We look for students, about 2.8 GPA or so, about a 1350 on a 3-part SAT. So that B student. Yeah. And then we have a lot of academic support for our students to make sure that they get to the next level.
So is every level at college different in the way they do admissions? Is a Division I type school different than a Division III type school, or is admissions pretty much the same everywhere?
Admissions is similar in most institutions. The biggest thing that separates Division I, II, and III is the scholarships that schools are able to give athletes.
Okay.
So Division III, we don't offer any athletic scholarships. It's all need and merit based. Compared to Division I, a student can receive a full athletic ride, or Division II, the same thing. So I think that's probably the biggest thing. Academically, we all look for the strength of the students' academics.
And so a student at a Division I level school, do they offer academic scholarships, or could they? They can.
Yes. So with the Division I schools, they can actually give athletic and academic scholarships. Where in some of the Division III schools, they can only give the academic, nothing athletic related.
Okay, I gotcha. So now, a lot of parents always think of early admission or early decision. What's the difference between an early admission or early decision, or vice versa?
Early decision, it sort of relieves the senior of the stress of whether or not they've been accepted into their number one choice school or so forth.
And how early could that be?
Some schools may send out decisions in November. Some may send out some before before the holidays like Christmas and New Year's and things like that. But the biggest thing is just seeing whether or not the early acceptance or decision obligates you to go to the school. It's just reading between the fine lines. Every institution is a little bit different with.
So what's the difference between that early action or early decision?
It's just different wording for the most part. Early action is more so you submit all your documents and you want to receive a decision when they send out their first batch.
And they
Same
can
thing
do
with
it at
early
any
decision.
level of school?
Any level school, yeah.
So what's the process that Mount Ida takes?
So we basically, we start accepting students in like around October or so. And it usually takes about 2 weeks for us to turn over an application. So once the student submits their application along with their transcript and SAT or ACT scores, it usually takes us about 2 weeks or so to switch that over and give them a decision.
And how do you find your students? How do you go about finding the students?
Well, we have a lot of niche majors that draw a lot of students from across the nation. I mean, we have a well-diverse campus, representing over 25 states and 30 countries. But we have admissions counselors like myself that go out on the road and we meet high school students and college fairs and high school visits and things like that to talk about our school and our experience to see whether or not it's the right fit. The biggest thing about college is more so finding the right fit.
Yeah. So a student, do you advise every student that you talk to go and visit the school and check it out and see if they like it there?
Definitely, and especially with my travel. All my travel is, my closest student is 3.5 hours away from the institution. So I'm always encouraging my students to come visit the school. It's a feeling that you're going to get once you come onto the institution that's for you. And I tell them, every school's going to have pretty brochures and, everything that's going to sound appealing, but you actually have to go there and walk around and get familiarized with the campus. Can you see yourself there? Picture yourself there. And if that's the school, then really just take it.
Now, what's the major that Mount Ida is known for? Is there a lot more of one particular major over another?
We have a lot of niche majors that a lot of schools don't offer, like our veterinary technician program, our dental hygiene program, funeral service. And then we have some of the more popular majors like sports management, business, criminal justice. And I think that the fact that we actually had an 84% job placement rate last year with our graduating class.
Wow.
We have Career Service Center that helps students with jobs and internships to make sure that they're, we're not just graduating them without, opportunities or at least exposing them to it.
Right. So and also the athletes at the school are doing the same thing? They're going through the same type of majors? And
that's the difference between, the Division I's and the twos compared to Division III is everyone's pretty much treated the same. So, we have the 84% includes athletes.
Wow.
The captain of our football team, he graduated a semester early. He's working with the Jets now.
Wow.
He was a sports management major, and he went and he did an internship with ESPN his senior year. Then he's doing like sales and advertising for the Jets now.
That's interesting. So do you get that a lot with a lot of different students?
It's really based on the student and what they want to do. Every student is assigned an advisor that they have for the 4 years.
Okay.
So freshman year, typically students don't really know what direction they want to go into. But we try to, just help them, challenge them to take different classes to help them explore different options and then, point them in the right direction so they can get the best outcome.
And so the students that are at the high school level, what do you advise the parents to do with their students? Just do more extracurricular things?
I would say it's really the academics and then, just the extracurricular activities, volunteer in the community, join a club organization, show some type of leadership. Anything that can show that you can do other things outside your academics, but you also want to show that you can maintain your academics while, pursuing these other extracurriculars.
Now there are parents that I've heard that are out there that talk about schools have quotas of different things. If you're an African American or you're Asian, they'll take those kids over someone else. Is that the truth, or is that something that's just out there as a myth?
There is some truth behind that. Not at Mount Ida. we have close to 33% students of color. So unlike a lot of other institutions that have multicultural overnight recruitment to draw students of color and different backgrounds to their institution, we're not in that situation. We attract those students just by our outreach to
Gotcha.
the norm.
So does schools like Mount Ida, are there like different tags that they have, or different piles for different certain kids? Like if you're an athlete, you go in this pile. If you're a more highly academic student, you go in this pile. How does the process work in the admissions department?
So in our admissions department, every counselor is assigned to territories, and they read their territories. So I read all the applications that come in from every state outside of New England, including New York City. So I have a large territory. So any application that come in outside of New England, I'll read it. Whether it's athlete, regular student, no matter who it is, I'll read it.
So you have to read the essays,
The essay, the transcripts, SAT scores, and so forth, and then we'll send out a decision from there.
And how long is the decision process? When does it start? When does it end? Where do what's the process that you take?
Most students, I encourage students to apply early, September or so, and then get your documents in. A lot of schools won't make a decision until after the first marking period of their senior year. But then again, some students that are strong, if you're a 3.0 student, you have solid SATs, you can probably get a decision early on in your senior year before the first marking period is over.
Okay.
So applying early, and then just making sure that you submit your documents to the institution so we can make our decision.
So now the documents go in, let's say September, October of their senior year. Their applications start, I guess, December, January?
No, the application can start as soon as they start their senior year.
Really?
We'll start a file for them, and they'll be assigned a counselor. And then once we receive their documents, 2 weeks, we'll send a decision out to them.
And then a decision letter goes out right after the documents have all been handed into the school.
Correct.
And so that happens all the way until May, June?
That happens all the way until the first day of classes. We're rolling admission.
The next September?
We're rolling admission. So rolling admission means that there is no deadline for our applications compared to some institutions that have a deadline application. You have to submit your application by.
And that's usually a Division I type school, or is it the other schools? How does that work?
It depends on the it depends on the institution, and their goals. Some of them just have the deadline where they want all the applications in here, and then some are a little bit more lenient.
So now I've heard things like certain schools have an X number of amount of students that get accepted every year. So Ivy Leagues, maybe 1,200 or 1,300 students get accepted. Division I, if it's a large Division I like a Florida State or something like that, might be 20 or 30,000. How does a school with rolling admissions, how does that work? Is there a certain amount of applications that come in compared to who's getting accepted?
Well, basically what happens is with rolling admission is if we find ourselves in a situation where we think that we're going to be over capacity, we can start a wait list. And pretty much, depending upon when the students say, or if a student says that they're definitely coming, we can look on our wait list and plug students in and so forth. So numbers are being consistently ran weekly to know, our projected numbers compared to where we're at now, and then basically see, where we need to be, and then just make the proper adjustments from there.
I got you. So, but there is a certain number, and then they have to put a wait list on everyone else.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So a parent, the best thing for a parent to do is to get their son or their daughter's information to the school that they want to get to as early as possible. And at a Division I type school or two, I hear a lot of things like December, January is when the application process starts. Where at Mount Ida, you're telling me it's rolling, so it can start as early as possible.
Correct.
As long as it's in their senior year, they can't start applying in their junior year.
No, we don't accept it. Yeah.
Okay.
So as soon as their junior year is completed, they can start the summer of going into their senior year. They can apply, and then once we get their documents, we'll.
Okay. And the extracurricular activities at the school, is there a wide variety? You were talking about sports. Is it just, just football and basketball, or is there a wide variety of sports? Or in the, as well as information like other extracurricular activities like film or something like that they wanted to
So
get
we
into?
have over 25 different clubs or organizations on campus, and the good thing about our school is if there's a club or organization that we don't have, it only takes 3 students to start it. And they'll get funded by student government, wherein they have a budget and all. It just has to be open to the campus community.
Really?
So my sophomore year, a couple of girls started a dance team. And now the dance team is, they have 20 plus. It's actually co-ed now,
Really?
and they have 20 plus members on that team.
So if I wanted to do skydiving or something, and I got 3 people that wanted to do it, you'd have a skydiving club.
We would definitely try to make it happen.
Really?
Yes.
That would be interesting. How do you like that? So the school is open to whatever the students want,
Yes.
as long as there's enough students that want to do it.
Correct.
Okay. Does that happen in a lot of different colleges, or that's just Mount Ida that you could talk about?
I mean, that's what I could talk about, Mount Ida. I mean, some institutions are like that, but I mean, I can definitely testify that Mount Ida is like that.
Yeah. Okay. And so, what is your responsibility when you go to, I guess, New Jersey and New York is your territory? What's your daily interaction with high school kids?
So during the day, I would set up high school visits where I would visit different high schools, and I would speak to different students that are interested. So they may have like a sign-up sheet, and they'll come down to the guidance office, and I would just talk to them, give them information about Mount Ida, and let them know what we have, resources that we have. And then if they're interested, they'll fill out an inquiry card where we can send them more information about the school and keep them updated on what's going on.
So you do a lot of college nights or something like that at the high school?
So actually, that'll be during the day, and then at night there's a lot of college fairs wherein a couple of high schools may join together and put together a college fair. And then I'll set up a table, and then students would come to the table and get information. But then there's the big NACAC, which is like the national college fairs that takes place in every state. So those are always, an opportunity to meet with 5,000 plus students.
Wow.
Coming in from all
And
over.
I'm assuming the parents and the kids are
The
going to
parents and the
those.
students, yes.
Wow. So is it majority of the colleges that go to that?
The NACACs, you will see colleges from across the nation. Those are the big fairs, so you will see 500 plus colleges at the
Wow.
NACAC fairs. But then some of the smaller high school fairs, you can see anywhere between 5 to 25.
And is it usually, do you see it where the high schools are focusing more on where they've sent kids in the past? Those are the schools that tend to attend those?
Some
fairs?
some schools, some high schools keep their alums, alma maters basically, in the loop. And then some schools basically look for other opportunities. College is all about fit, so you don't really know what a school has to offer until you actually go and witness and visit the school and see what's what from
Gotcha.
there. So I mean, the counselors, they come and we talk about the school and we tell you all the beautiful things about the campus.
Yeah.
Then our job is really to get you to visit the campus.
So you get a lot of the guidance counselors to come and visit the campus as well?
Yes, we also have guidance counselor luncheons and different things like that to bring them onto our campus because we're a small private institution. A lot of people may know or may still think of us as a 2-year institution, which we were, which we started out years ago.
Ah.
So just reestablishing ourselves, letting them know what we are now and the opportunities and things that can happen is really our goal now.
So in the state of New Jersey, where we are, what is Mount Ida's information that they get out to kids? Is it very big with recruiting students from the state of New Jersey?
New Jersey is, I want to say, we bring maybe about 25 plus students a year from the New Jersey area. And that's always a number that I'm looking to increase, being that I'm from New Jersey.
Ah.
But I mean, it's really the student, and them finding the major and making sure that it's going to be, what they really want to do.
Yeah.
So we really try to have them come in. We have admitted student days where all of our admitted students come on campus and they meet with their specific faculty members, and pretty much like a community fair where they can pretty much just get everything at once.
Right.
And try to give them that feel, and let them just explore and see whether or not this is really for them.
So you pretty much traveling the whole state of New Jersey and all 5 boroughs of New York on a daily basis?
No, not on a daily basis. So my travel is based upon the college fairs that are set up at night, and then I'll set up visits based upon the areas that I'll be at night.
And have you been in the central New Jersey area or southern New Jersey area quite a bit, or no?
Not as much as I like, because my territory is wide. So all the Mid-Atlantic states, so Maryland, D.C., Virginia, even Florida, Chicago sometimes. So it's just picking the right timing, where we're in. I can use the time effectively, really.
Yeah.
Now I wouldn't want to come to New Jersey for one fair we're in,
Right,
where the following week there's 5 fairs and a lot more colleges that I
So
can visit.
you look at schools that give you almost all in the same row. So if you have 4 or 5 college fairs going on that week, that's where you tend to go.
That's what I would tend, yeah.
So then your time is valuable. So
Completely.
in getting that, I got you now. So now the students that you're interacting with, do you get a high percentage of students that come to your school after you're talking to them?
Well, there's different levels for the most part. So I will get them interested, and I will see how interested they are once they apply. After they apply, then it shows, all right, they're actually interested. That's when the daily communication flow starts. So all my students, I will call them, I will email them, I'll become their best friend. Because I want to make sure that they're making the right decision. It's an investment that they're making, and I want to give them all the information that they're seeking.
And being that you're a former graduate of the school, it gives you even more insight into what the school's doing.
Correct.
Now, is it like that at a lot of other colleges? Did they get a lot of graduates that tend to come back as recruiters?
It's something that you're starting to see now more than when I first started, but it's definitely a plus. It speaks a lot of the institution for someone. We have maybe about four alums working in admissions alone.
Wow.
So that just speaks of the type of students that graduate from our school and what we think of them.
Great. So by you going there, you're giving that insight to the student and telling them what they can do, what they can't do, what the school has, what the school doesn't have.
Exactly, and it's from a personal experience, not I didn't just read a brochure and giving you the facts. I'm giving you a personal experience. This is. And
being from New Jersey, you must get a good majority of New Jersey kids, being that you can tell them, where you came from and how long of a ride it was to Newton, Massachusetts, and what's in that area.
Correct.
So do you tend to get that? What happens when you go into states like New York or Pennsylvania, Maryland? Do you not get as many only because it's further away? Is that what ends up happening?
Well, I think the biggest thing is selling Boston when I'm outside of the area. A lot of high school students don't think of Boston. It's not your typical vacation spot. It's the college town, and a lot of high school students don't know that. So once I talk to them and I say, hey, Boston there's over 60 colleges within an hour radius of us, 250,000 students a year come to Boston. Their eyes light up.
Yeah.
It's a real young 18, 25-year-old type city, so you're not going to experience that anywhere in the nation, in the world.
And how far are you from the city of
We're
Boston?
less than 15 minutes from downtown Boston.
Wow.
You can get to Fenway Park. You can drive to Fenway Park in less than 15 minutes.
So the tendency is if you're a sports fan, you can go see some of the Patriot games and Red Sox game and things like that. Yeah, that's fantastic. So you give a wide variety of things to the kids to do.
Exactly.
Well, fantastic. So tell me, do you see admissions changing anytime in the near future?
As in?
Well, as in the process or what's happening out there? Is there
actually, yeah. They're about to change the SATs. I think that's going to go into effect maybe, I believe, next year. I think that may have an impact because you know, a lot of schools are going SAT optional, and I'm kind of curious on whether or not those schools are going to reconsider that once they change up the SATs. 'Cause that's always something that's being talked about, whether or not it's, you know, a true an indicator whether or not a student is going to be successful in college.
And the school accepts both ACT and SAT.
Correct.
And everyone has to take it unless it's an optional thing.
Mm-hmm.
So if the school gives it as an option, you don't have to take it?
You don't have to take it.
Okay, so it's all just based on what they're giving you as information from their high school.
Mm-hmm. And that's for the so that's the college. So some colleges are SAT optional. So once the if the college is SAT optional, you'll just submit your high school transcript. But then obviously for the ones that are requesting it, you have to submit, you know, your SAT or your ACT in order to get a decision.
Okay. Well, we're running out of time, Calvin. So what do you want to tell the families that are out there that are listening and watching about admissions and about Mount Ida College as well?
Well, I want to say with admissions, you want to just make sure that you're very active with your admissions team. Whatever schools you're applying to, make sure that they know who you are. Give them a call and just make sure you follow up. I think that's going to be the biggest thing, just following up with your admissions people and your financial aid. If you're applying for aid, getting in contact with the financial aid office. You can apply for aid after January 1st. It's a first come, first serve type thing, so you want to be real proactive with that approach. Mount Ida, I mean, we have a lot of resources for the students. I would love to see some more of my New Jersey people come up and visit the school. We have a lot of academic support for students. We have free tutoring, free writing center for students. We have a Learning Opportunities program, which is for students with documented learning disabilities. And that program is, you know, we hire specialists from off campus depending upon what the student disability is. So, I mean, there's a lot of small institutions that offer a lot to students. It's just, you know, the student finding an institution and just finding the right fit. So my biggest thing is just, you know, it's all about fit. Once you find the right fit, you'll know the right institution for you.
Well, great. Thank you for coming, Calvin. I appreciate it. And thank you for watching The Secrets of College Planning. Until next time.